This is our WCW countdown. We are now in week number 6. I believe it's week number 6. We are spanning WCW era matches only. We're not doing Jim Crockett promotions. One match per week for 15 straight weeks, building to the anniversary of the final Monday Nitro, which was coming up now on 15 years. It doesn't feel like 15 years since Nitro died, does it?
It seems a lot longer.
WCW
longer.
died.
You think it feels longer?
I think it seems longer because there really has only been if WWE had a real competitor, had a real someone to really worry about, then maybe it wouldn't feel as long.
Yeah.
But it's been forever.
It does feel like, and I think, Cena for 10 years or 12 years or what, it does feel like a very long time. So we're going back to a more fun. What?
You're blaming Cena
I'm
now.
not blaming
You're
Cena.
blaming Cena because
No,
it feels
no.
it feels like WCW was a long time ago because of Cena.
Cena doesn't help.
I associate that as like the era that came post WCW. Cena's the face of that era, and it feels like it's been going on for ages and ages and ages.
That was like
all I
4
meant.
years
I'm
later,
blaming
though.
him.
You heard it right here. John Cena killed WCW.
John Cena did kill WCW. So let's talk about another WCW Monday Nitro match. This one from 4/20/98, April 20th, 1998, from the World Center in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Yes, this match took place on 4/20. Here on episode 420, in a state no less, one of the few states here in this country where marijuana is legal, state of Colorado.
Well, not then.
Well, not then, but at the moment.
Right.
Right. Not to say that some of the wrestlers were not partaking at that time.
Well, they were a mile high.
They were a mile high.
Wait.
In many ways.
Yeah, that was Colorado.
So we had the undefeated Bill Goldberg, who at the time was billed at 74.
No, he was billed at unknown. I just watched it.
Billed at 74-0.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were saying the weight.
Bill was billed.
Against Raven.
I apologize.
For the WCW United States Championship under Raven's rules. Now, to give some of the backstory here, Raven beat DDP at Spring Stampede just the night before to win the U.S. title. So this is what you call a transitional champion here in this match. Raven didn't even get a chance. He comes out here to defend against Goldberg. There are going to be some people who I think look at this and go, what? This is one of the best matches in WCW history? You're out of your mind. Well, first of all, it's my list. That's number one. Number two, I showed this match to you, and I showed this match to you, and you all agreed, right? Short, fun, energetic, exciting.
I cared.
Hot crowd. Hot draw on Goldberg, who was on the ascent. Maybe, Raven fans might not be too happy with the outcome, but I thought this is not going to go down as a technical masterpiece, but this was a fun match to watch on Goldberg's rise, his first championship win. Like I said, the crowd was into it. Raven got a lot of offense here in this brief 6 or 7 minutes, whatever it was. My favorite spot of the whole match, and I did a match anatomy on this on, I think it was episode 191.
Wow.
So I've talked about this match already. And Raven is beating the hell out of Goldberg in the corner. Goldberg is no-selling it. He's starting to hulk up a little bit. Raven hits the ropes, and you must see this. You must see the first spear of this match. The crowd just erupts. Even Tony Schiavone says the crowd erupts. They all stand up at the same time. And that's when the flock gets involved. You had Sick Boy, you had Kidman, you had Horace Hogan, you had Ron Reese. They all get involved. Goldberg gives Reese a jackhammer, and Reese is a big guy. Gives him a jackhammer. This guy was like a superhero, right? Some people like, John Cena, he's the superhero now to the kids. John Cena ain't got shit on Bill Goldberg. You look at this guy, you think this guy's a superhero. So he's beating everybody up, and Raven tries to escape, and the fans, quote-unquote, the fans, throw him back over the barricade. They're not going to let him leave. He goes into the ring. Goldberg spears the hell out of him, gives him the jackhammer, 1, 2, 3. It was short. It was sweet. It was explosive. 75-0, new U.S. champion. Not much more to it than that.
It was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Michael Buffer, it was a big match feel. Michael Buffer was the ring announcer.
Michael Buffer did make it feel like a much bigger deal. This wasn't even the main event on the show. The main event on the show, I think, I could be wrong about this. Actually, you know what, Noah? Go on your computer, look it up. 4/20/98, Monday Nitro. I'm pretty sure it was Hogan Savage for the world title in the main event. So this was the main event of Hour 1. This is when Nitro was kind of built up to feel like a big deal. It felt almost kind of like two separate shows. You had the Hour 1, they'd have the big pyro then at the beginning of Hour 2, and they would go into the second half of the show.
Different announce team?
They had different announcers. That's right.
Tony did the first hour.
Yep.
Bischoff did the second hour.
And I've pitched that idea before in terms of freshening up Raw. You got 3 hours that you do.
Split it.
Hogan Savage.
I was right.
Ugh,
I
don't
was
remind
right.
me.
Hogan Savage in the main event. So this I think headlined hour 1 and is one of the more memorable matches in WCW history. And again, this match is not just about work rate. This is not every entry in this countdown has to be Flair and Steamboat. I lumped all 3 Flair Steamboat matches from '89 into one of the numbers on this countdown 2 weeks ago because it's well deserving. You can't do a match like this and not have Flair and Steamboat. But every match has something different to offer. Some matches are more brutal than others. I don't think anybody would look at Cactus Jack and Max Payne against the Nasty Boys and say, well, that wasn't a technical masterpiece. So it wasn't supposed to be.
Was this a 3-hour Nitro, or is this...
Pretty sure it was 2.
This was before they went 3 hours.
Okay, so this was head-to-head with Monday Night Raw.
Oh, yeah.
Not because when you said it was the first hour, I was wondering if it was 8 to 9 and
8 to
not
9.
against. Oh, it was 8 to 9.
8 to 9.
That's right.
Okay. Well,
so this match was happening right as Raw was starting or just about to
very
start.
possible. And maybe that's why they positioned it that way.
Right.
Perhaps.
Just keep you staying in.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. And Nitro would give away a lot of big matches on TV back then. They gave away Goldberg and Hogan on Nitro.
Right.
A few months after.
I mean, even the idea that wrestling crowds were this hot back in the day. We
were having this discussion earlier because Noah, I gave him a homework assignment, and I said, Noah, I know you've probably never even seen this match before.
Right.
Because he was not a WCW fan back in the day.
Right.
But I said it's a quick, easy watch. Watch it, and then we can talk about it on the show. And he watched it, and he commented to me. He said, man, he goes, these crowds, you don't get crowds like this anymore. And it's true. You don't.
You don't.
Because nobody cares.
Well, that's because people aren't being booked strong
Because
like Bill Goldberg anymore.
Nobody has been positioned to care.
Except for the Shield.
Fans have not been positioned, or conditioned. They have not been conditioned to care hardly about anything except Roman Reigns, John Cena, and that's it. And so you end up with, and again, these are 3-hour shows now. Back then it was 1 hour, 2 hours.
Right.
But you look at this crowd, and we were talking about this also, the makeup of the crowd. You had a lot of teenagers. You had a lot of young kids, not young like 5 or 10. I mean, you had little kids, but you had a lot of 16, 17, 18-year-olds who were watching way more, I would guess, than you do now.
Right.
College students, too.
15 to like 28.
Right. That was the demographic right there. That was the key audience. Now
Right.
you have a lot of younger kids and you have a lot of old people. The median age for a Raw viewer is like 40 now.
And that's because they watch and they go to the shows with their parents. I think, and I think that I think everyone's a wrestling fan or was a wrestling fan. But, look, it's not either a combination of them. It's not doing it for them anymore.
Right. But I don't buy that alone
Right.
is an excuse, like to excuse them. You could still have crowds that show life and show energy, maybe not quite to that level. Because that was a freak thing. That was Goldberg.
Right.
That was the one guy they made that was on the level of an Austin or a Rock. They didn't have too many of those.
Well, you're pretty quiet at these events. I've monitored you.
You can't go by me.
Why can't I go by you?
That's just his
What am I
personality.
supposed to do? I'm supposed to jump up and down and fling my
When
arms around
Bayley
like
came
Sami
out,
Zayn?
when Bayley came
I
out,
got very excited when
you
Bayley
clapped.
came out.
You smiled.
I was clapping to her song.
You didn't stand.
So
You
what?
didn't wave your arms like the inflatable men that you love.
You mean
so
the
much?
wacky wailing inflatable tube men? Yeah, of course.
You love them.
Watch that spear. You'll see what I'm talking about.
He knew how to do a spear.
Yeah, people ask me, who do you think had the best spear? Was it Goldberg, Rhino, Roman Reigns, Edge? It's Goldberg.
Hands down.
Goldberg.
It starts and stops. You want to see a better spear in terms of just ferocity, not in terms of crowd reaction. There's a Royal Rumble. I want to say, well, it was the only one that Goldberg was in, so it would have been 2004.
Right.
He speared, I can't even say speared, he murdered Nunzio.
Well, Nunzio's like a
Well, there's a
100.
mismatch.
And Nunzio's like 150 pounds
Dripping
soaking wet. And he's all the way like opposite corners almost. And Goldberg is sizing him up. And I mean, how he literally did not break this man in half, I'll never know. Find that. That's a spear.